Hello and welcome to my favorite bosses with Dreadstinger. Now, before I start, I just want to say that these aren't in a specific order, they're just randomly placed. So, I don't think that that guy is better than that guy, even though I had more troubles beating the other guy. So, with everything settled down, let's start. Alright, so starting off, one of the best bosses I've ever seen in a game would be Draco Cantus from The World Ends With You. Now, it was very hard to beat him. I don't know how many times I played against him. Because first of all, you have to beat his other form, which would be the Angus Cantus or something like that. And well, then after you beat Angus Cantus or whatever, you have to he absorbs uh beat and Shiki and oh god, what was his name? It was oh god, I can't remember. Oh, Joshua. And Joshua. And he becomes this enormous thing that has like 5 or 6 heads and you have to attack nonstop. And it kills you with a lot of damage. It's so powerful. Again I was against him like for I tried more than like 15 times and then I just threw my DS. And then later I got it and then I started playing again another 15 times before I could beat him. Now I have an understanding that he isn't the strongest character in the whole game. There's also um, Tigris Cantus. I think that would be Hanekoma's noise form. We're saying it's insane because he uses both. I don't know what their names are, but they say it's really, really hard. Next up is Bowser from Yoshi's Island from the Game Boy Advance. Now, it was very hard for me to beat him. Plus, it has a special part in my heart because it was one of the first games that I ever finished. Actually, I think it would be like the first game I ever finished. So when I finished it, it was like a new accomplishment. It was the first time I had defined myself as a gamer. So it was very cool. I mean, Comic just comes out of nowhere once you beat Baby Bowser. Just pours him with magics, and boom, he just blows out, and it's just enormous thing. And the fight, oh god, it's ridiculous. You're on some platforms, and there's just like birds flying with humongous eggs, and you have to get them and then throw it at him. And every once in a while, he'll throw fireballs at you, and eventually, like rock will come down and destroy the platforms. And when you're nearly gonna beat him, you have these ridiculously small platforms to be on, and you have to be jumping from one to another to avoid being well destroyed or something. And it's just so intimidating because he just comes forward from being in the horizon. It's just so intimidating. It's like seeing Godzilla come out of the water directly to you and you cannot run away from him. It's ridiculous, but I have a special part in my heart for him because, well, it was so fun. When I finished beating him finally, my heart was beating so hard. Oh god. It's one of my favorite bosses of all time. Next up is Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure DX. Now, I downloaded that game for my PC like around 2007, 2008. And it was an awesome game. You started off with Sonic only, I think, and then you had like Tails, I think, and then Amy and Knuckles and Big the Cat and everything. It was a great game. I spent my time with Knuckles and everything, but I the more I played the game, it was more fun, and I started using other characters, of course. I finished the game and I unlocked um, Supersonic, which was this little, very little adventure to go to the Chaos Emerald and everything, save T-Call and everything, and then you had to go against Perfect Chaos. Once you had the power of the Chaos Emeralds, of course. So you just went. The fight with Perfect Chaos was perfect. Now, probably the only reason I put Perfect Chaos here is because I love the song when you're battling him. The Open Your Heart theme by Krish 40. It's so awesome. And while fighting against him, it's like just. It was perfect. Now, Chaos himself wasn't really a good boss because I don't remember having any trouble fighting him. Yeah, I struggled like 2 to 5 times or something like that, but I beat him easily. But I have to admit, it was very fun the way that you just answered through him and went swimming up to his brain until you hit him. It was fantastic. I love it. That's why I put him here on my tops. Next up is Vile from the Sigma from Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. Now, Sigma is probably like the worst, best boss I have ever seen. Why? Because he got into my nerves. I mean, not only did you have to beat first his wolf and then beat him, but after that he just explodes his own body and his head goes into this giant no, it's not a mechanaloid, I think. But anyway, it gets into this humongous wolf robot thing which just destroys you. Now, I didn't have the Hadoken back then. I didn't even know it existed right before. Like, the next day when I beat Sigma, I knew about the Hadoken. Now, that boss, it's probably the longest one I've ever taken to beat. Why? Because I have that game since 2000, 2000, yeah, like 2006, I think I had the game. They gave it to me on my birthday, I think. And I played, I couldn't beat Vile. So I would also put Vile up on here, but it didn't cause me as much trouble as Sigma. Now, Sigma, I think would be it's a bit harder to beat Sigma than the Wolf version. But once you get to the Wolf version of Sigma, you're practically dead. I mean, you could easily see what attacks the Wolf Sigma is gonna do. So it's easy if to beat him if you have enough life and enough strategy. But with Sigma, it's kind of different because he's kind of this just one person and going up, down screen, and everything. And the wolf, his little wolf pet thing, it's easy to beat because you only need the X Buster charged. I always charge it before getting up there, so when I got him, I would just hit him directly. So I didn't have much problems with the wolf. And well, Let's see. But yeah, Sigma, he was a real pain. I just I had the game back in 2006 and I beat him to what, 2010 probably. I spent 4 years against Sigma. So he had to be in this list. And finally, we have Wesker, which is one of my favorite bosses, but not only that, it's probably my favorite character from the Resident Evil saga. Why? Because he's just so cool. Or I have something for those characters that have a god complex. And it's just awesome. And the boss fight, the final boss fight in Resident Evil 5, it was really, really hard. I played almost non-stop 2 days just to beat him, Wesker, with the Ouroboros. And I took probably another 2 days to beat him in normal. Like, just in that place where you have to inject him. So, yeah. And it was so hard that I had to get my cousin to help me, actually. Because it was too hard for me and the computer to win. So I would just actually I just brought my cousin so he could grab some ammo. I mean, so he could have some ammo. And when I ran out of ammo, I just tell him, "Give me ammo," because he was just shooting around, and I already knew how to beat him, but it was too hard. And finally, when I beat him, I was so relieved, and just oh my god. And the ending where you finally shoot him with that rocket launcher, was it? I think it was. The two rocket launchers. It was beautiful. And talking about Wesker, uh, lately I've been playing a lot of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and he's actually the first character I use because his speed is so it's so godlike, and his attacks are so powerful. He's you can without the glasses, he's super fast and super strong. You don't really need another character other than Wesker. So yeah, Wesker is probably one of my favorite characters of all video game history. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. That really helps me. It tells me that people want to see more, so I make more. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.